What is up, guys? It's me, TheGamingD, and welcome back to another video. Guys, we are back with another game review, and this is going to be on the new Marvel Spider-Man game that came out recently on the PlayStation 4, and oh my god, guys, this game is something else. I honestly fell in love with it. I've been playing it non-stop since the day it came out, and I think it honestly came out maybe 2 days ago. I've just been playing it non-stop, and I literally just beat the game like maybe 10 minutes ago. So it's very fresh in my head, and I'm just going to tell you how I feel, the things that I like and dislike about this game. But before we get into that, guys, I want you guys to go down into the description and join my Discord. I notify you guys whenever I upload a YouTube video on there. Also, you can just talk with me and have a good time in there with everyone else that's in there. So go ahead and do that, and hopefully I will see you in there soon. But if you guys do have any, thoughts or anything on this Spider-Man game, if you've seen gameplay of it, have played it yourselves, give me your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, or you could also do that in my Discord as well. But anyways, guys, let's get into the things that I liked about this game. Now, if you guys have not played this game, I am going to give you guys some spoilers right now, so I'm telling you, like, either click off or something. Just don't even continue watching this video. Jesus. Yeah, don't even continue watching, because just instantly I'm gonna, give you some, give some stuff away. But here we go. So, the story of this game is honestly amazing. I really, really loved the story of this. It felt, it felt like I was watching I'd say, classic Spider-Man movie. Now, by classic, I mean like the 2002 and like 2004 Spider-Man movies. Those ones is what it felt like, and they had some landmarks in this video game that reminded me of those movies. So kind of like, if you didn't know, I think it was the first Spider-Man movie, and I think it came out in 2002. That one, they had Dr. Octopus in that movie, and the warehouse or whatever that he was doing all of his stuff in, that you end up saving Mary Jane in there. It actually had that same looking place in this game, but sadly, nothing was really going on in there. It was just like a hiding spot for some stuff. But man, they did really well with this story on this game. Next, the villains. The villains are freaking amazing. So these are the main lineup for the main villains that they had in this game. So they had Dr. Octopus. That one was honestly kind of a big shocker, because he was kind of a good guy for, I'd say, 90% of the story mode. So I didn't know they were gonna have him being the main villain in this game until he actually started going crazy. I thought they were gonna wait to have him the main villain in a DLC or something. Then they had Scorpion. They had Rhino. Rhino is such a pain in the ass. He's just the worst. He's the worst person to be going against. They got Electro, Vulture, and Mr. Negative, and then they also did have a few more villains in here. Like in the beginning, they had the Kingpin. Let's see, what else did they have? They had Shocker. He was like I don't know. It was a guy you only encountered like once during the story, so it wasn't much of anything. And then they had the Tombstone, and then that was basically all of the villains that they had in this game, and it was honestly amazing. I loved how each villain had a unique story, and how they actually took villains from the comics and stuff. It was very, very cool. So the villains were amazing. One thing that made me very excited is Stan Lee is normally, he shows up in like every Marvel movie you could think of. He just shows up in them. It's weird, and he plays a different character in every single one of them. And it was weird seeing him in this game. Now the scenario was Peter and MJ were chilling in a diner, and Peter left because Spider-Man duties, and MJ started leaving, and just Stan Lee's just looks at her and is like, "Oh, I've always liked you two." And it was really funny. It was really funny just knowing that he was in there. It was amazing. It was just a cool little part that they added to this game just to make it feel like it's an actual like movie. So I gotta thank these guys for actually doing things like this to just make it amazing. Another thing is they kind of hinted to some DLC. Now, they have two kind of hints for DLC in this game at the end of it. Now, at the end of it, Miles, the young boy that his father got killed during a medal freaking ceremony that he was getting, he was on the police department. He ended up getting bit by a spider that was in one of Harry, or not Harry, freaking what's his name? I can hold up. I got it up here. Norman Osborn. That was in one of his facilities that he had been doing research on stuff, and he ended up getting powers like Spider-Man. And he was, helping Peter move into a new apartment or whatever, and he's like, "Yo, I gotta show you something, I can't tell my mom about this." And then he just sticks to the ceiling. He like jumps up and grabs onto the ceiling, and then Peter does the same thing. He's like, "Yo, man, that's not weird at all." So I think right there that might be hinting towards possible DLC where Spider-Man has a sidekick, or you're playing as Miles as like Spider Boy or something, whatever they're gonna call him. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. Then we have the second hint towards a DLC. Now, this whole story, they were kind of saying that Harry Osborn, Peter's best friend, if you didn't know, he was off away in a different country for like the summer or something like that. He was been gone for a couple months, but come to find out that he was really sick and there was something wrong with him. And Peter and MJ didn't know about it until MJ actually went and saw his bedroom. And it was like looked like a hospital room, and it was clear that there was something wrong with him. But at the end of the, after when the credits go through, it's typical Marvel movie where they show something like Marvel related, I mean, where they just show something after the credits that just like big cliffhanger. But they go, not they go, freaking Norman Osborn goes into his secret room that MJ ended up, leading the spider out for freaking Miles to end up getting bit, and yada yada yada. There was a thing that was, hidden kind of, and that MJ never looked at. But if she did, when he opened it, it showed that Harry Osborn was literally floating with like tubes and stuff all connected to him, floating inside this green stuff. And the way they kind of hinted this DLC is that, he's saying, we're gonna find a cure. I love you, my son. He's got his hand on the glass, like, he's like, "Oh, I love you all the time," And all of a sudden, you just see like this black, like spider web. It kind of looked like a spider web. Just stick to the glass. And that kind of made me think that Harry Osborn is going to be Venom in a future DLC. We do know that I think it's Catwoman is going to be in the DLC for next month that's coming out for this game. And there's, I think, two or three more DLCs after that are going to be coming out. But man, if Venom is going to be Harry Osborn, I think that's going to be very, very cool. and I would love to see Venom in a Spider-Man game. That I don't think that's ever happened at all. That'd be really really cool. Now, for the upgrading system, it's pretty damn balanced. It's pretty balanced. So you got three different categories. You get Innovator, Defender, and Web Slinger. So Innovator is kind of like where, one sec, let me look at it while I'm saying this. So this is kind of like you're doing special different tactics or whatever. So like you can turn an enemy into a freaking bowling ball or a wrecking ball, may I say. You can strip, pistols or assault weapons away from enemies, or you can even take their weapon away from them and even beat them with it. It's like really, really cool things that you can do, but they're like the small things that you could do. Then you got Defender that help you obviously more during combat, avoiding getting hit, having more powerful hits, being able to throw people around, doing all these cool different things. And then the Web Slinger is more of a anything you can do while you're like in the air using your web. So I think those are cool. They have it balanced pretty nicely, and I'd say everything costs I'd say pretty even. I think the highest thing that costs the most amount of skill points is maybe 3 skill points, but you can get skill points very easily as long as you're playing the game like it should be. Another thing about this game is there are 27 total Spider-Man suits, and all of them have different abilities. Now I think that's really really cool. that's a lot of suits. It's honestly crazy. I think my favorite ones are, I would say, either the Stark suit, the one from the most recent Spider-Man movie that Tony Stark gave Peter Parker. It looks pretty cool, and I like how detailed they are too. You can literally see that it's like it looks like someone wove it, at their house. It looks nice. It looks nice. And then my most favorite one that I think works the best for me is, I'd probably say, the Spidey armor. I think it's the MK3 suit. It looks really really cool. It kind of reminds me of Iron Man in a way, and it has a special ability that can deflect back bullets. So I think that's really cool. It helps you out in some really fishy scenarios, and they just got a lot of cool abilities with most of these suits. So you guys should definitely check out most of these if you can and you have the game. Check out most of these suits. They're pretty sick. Now another thing is the map is ginormous. Now this is Manhattan, New York, so it's one whole island, and it's giant. It's literally the entire island. It's not, they're not like going past anything, trying to pull one up on you. They actually have the Empire State Building. They have the new World Trade Center there. They have freaking Times Square. They got freaking the Grand Central Station. They got what is it called? I can't even think. It's a big stadium there. I can't. Man, I wish I could think of the stadium. I watch so much wrestling, I should know. They got Central Park. It's very cool. They got a lot of detailed stuff in here, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Now, the fighting in this game is perfect. It's pretty much like old school games where you're just spamming buttons. Mostly, I'd say square, triangle, X, and probably R2. Yeah, it's very simple. It's kind of like the Batman games, if you've ever played those. It plays the same way, and I like it a lot. It's very fun. It's very fun, but sometimes frustrating. Don't get me wrong. It's sometimes frustrating, but it's very fun. And then I would say the last thing that I really like about this game is that it has a lot of side missions. So just small things that you have to do, and it just makes you want to play the game even longer, because most people, they play games like this, they beat them, and then they're just done, because most of them don't have these many side quests. But you have a lot of things to do. You literally have a lot of things to do, and you have to clear out each district, and there's like 10 districts that you have to clear out, and they're just loaded with stuff. So I think they did very well when it came to adding content to this game. It helps out quite a bit on the longevity of this game. So now going on to the things that I disliked about this Spider-Man game. So sometimes when going through the city with your web, flying through the air, for some reason the web wouldn't work. I don't know if it was my controller, I don't know if it was the game, but sometimes literally I'd be going through, the web wouldn't be working, and my guy would just fall straight to the ground, and it's just like, come on. Come on, why didn't you work? Why didn't you work? So I thought that was something that they need to improve, because I had that happen quite a bit, especially when I'm trying to chase something and all of a sudden it just doesn't work. So either I need to get a new controller, or they need to just buff that or something like that. The next thing is, on some missions, man, this was the most annoying thing. After you get all of the bad villains, once they're out of the prison, and you're, having to fight them, they would make you fight two villains at once. So, for example, this was probably the worst one that I had to do, was Rhino and Scorpion. Now, Rhino, I'm on the ground, like literally he's charging me, I can't do anything about it. Then I get up on top of like a container or a building, and he'll throw a rock at me. I could avoid those, but then you got Scorpion over here jumping at you, trying to hit you, and then he's squirting his venom or whatever at you, and it just hits you, it damages you, and then you get knocked down by a freaking Rhino charging at you. It's honestly really, really annoying. I hope in future DLC for this game they do not have two villains like that at the same time. I hope if you're doing that, they're gonna have to fight them at different times. So that would be very, very nice. Also, it kind of sucked that you could not walk around as Peter Parker on the streets. Now, you can walk around as Peter Parker, but it's only in select places. I think there was only one outside of the, the feast, homeless shelter, that you're walking around as Peter, and that was at the ceremony in, like, Town Hall for the cop, for him to get his award, and it honestly sucked. I wish you could have walked around as Peter and, went and did stuff with Mary Jane, met up with her, I don't know, hang out with Miles or something. I don't know. I wish you could have just, seen more of the Peter Parker life in there, also with the Spider-Man life. I think if that would have been the case, the game probably would have been twice as long as it was, but what can you do? And then I would have to say the final thing that I disliked about this game is the ending. It kind of sucked. Not to be rude to Insomniac, but the ending wasn't that good. It was not that good. So what ended up happening is you ended up beating Dr. Octopus. It was a very cool thing. He actually knew that you were Peter Parker the entire time, so that was kind of like a twist that they added to it that I liked. I liked how he didn't decide to kill Dr. Octopus or anything. He's just like, whatever, just rot in jail, do your thing. And they kind of went over to Aunt May in the doctor's office, and she was dying from the thing that Dr. Octopus released into the air. She got sick from it, and he had the antidote to, you know, cure her. But, you know, her and him talked or something. She's like, you will know what to do. And he ended up not using it on her. They ended up saving it so they could make a cure for, like, everyone in the city. And then they ended up just, you know, handing it off, you know, going around, doing their thing. And then after that, it was like 3 months later, and then at the same restaurant that Stan Lee was at, they ended up meeting up, MJ and Peter, that were talking, and they ended up kissing, and that was the end of the main story. And then it went into the credits, and I didn't like how that ended at all. I did not like how that ended at all. I think they should have had MJ and Peter kind of, be in a relationship throughout the story, instead of having them finally kiss at the end, and kind of just leading it to, you know, we might do something with this in DLC, or we might not do something with this in DLC. We don't know. I thought that was kind of dumb. I didn't like the ending, but you know, the credits were probably better. Were probably better than that ending, for the most part. But yeah, guys, that's basically it. I really enjoyed this game for the most part. I would have to give this game probably a 9 out of 10. It's honestly a really good game. If you own a PS4, buy it. Buy this game. If you enjoy single player games, you will enjoy the hell out of this. You will have such a good time with it. Just buy it. Just buy it. Why don't you? But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys have, you know, your opinions or anything on this game, please tell me in the comments down below, or you can go into my Discord and talk to me on there about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.